When we came to the decentralized technology, we had to face some responsibilities. Now, we were holding our keys for our decentralized wallets, we were storing our own data, and that was all about the decentralization. But here the problem comes. 8 billion people do not know how to run this complex technology. This is very tough to educate a very massive people how to access the key, how to store the keys, how to secure the keys, how to store the data, how to back up the data. It was very, very tough. That becomes a challenge for this democratic tech blockchain. So what's the problem? Problem is very simple. Adoption demand easy and intuitive technology. Key points. When we talk about the blockchain, everybody knows a little about blockchain now, but the main problem is very few knows about the layer 1 and layer 2. What's the difference between layer 1 and layer 2? What's the difference between coins and tokens? What's the difference between on-chain versus off-chain? So it concludes as everybody is confused about what is right and what is wrong. Let's have some key points about the layer 1 and layer 2. The blockchain, which is layer 1, processing data on layer 1 means on-chain. The whole data logic computation is everything happening on-chain itself, while layer 2 computing off-chain, pushing its proof on-chain, and because they are processing the data off-chain, it becomes less trustful. So that's why they are pushing their proofs of processing on another chain, which we are calling layer 1. So layer 2s are dependent on layer 1, and why layer 2s are needed? Because still scalability is a big challenge for the blockchains. As we know about the coins, we know about the tokens as well. Coins are the native currency on any layer 1 chain or layer 2 chain. Coins are native currencies, while tokens are deployed coins on any. When demand is high, its price is definitely going to be high. That's not our worry. Our worry is very simple. We want to build the solution. We want to build a fantastic infrastructure for the decentralized world. Beyond the commitment, building communities of developers. MST just launched its initiatives for connecting universities, and not just like event to go and eat pizza and come out. It's not like that. Developers are doing hands-on session over there. Anybody who wants to learn, anybody who wants to build, and anybody who wants to launch, MST is the infrastructure for them. And MST is working with a lot of institutions. MST have announced its own academy. MST is the first blockchain who is providing end-to-end developer support. Means if any developers are stuck at any point in their project, regardless whether it's related to smart contract or not, MST is providing them developer support to build something amazing. Pure decentralized. Somebody asked the question in recent session that what is about when it's everything is in government's control, how it's decentralized. Yes, we are informing government that we are doing this, but we are not asking government that we should do it or not. If it's ethical, if it's in benefit of million of people, if it's not wrong, then definitely it's right. And how we are ensuring it? So path is very simple. The whole MST ecosystem is run by its DAO. So whomsoever is holding MSTC, they can stake their MSTC to gain governing tokens, and with the governing tokens, you can vote. You can ensure that whatever the decision is being taken by MST ecosystem is done by your vote. So that's the definition between centralized and decentralized. Centralized means someone, a particular person is taking the decision. You choose government for 5 years, but here you take parts in every single decision. That's the difference between centralization and decentralization. If the question is about informing government that what exactly we are doing. To onboard user at its most ease. The very last but very important about scalability. Everybody is throwing the fascinating numbers like millions of TPS. As a developer, when I think about it, it's very blurred statement. You cannot say you have million TPS until unless you are not executing the real complex problems on chain. If somebody says I am running the slot game, RTPs on chain with million of records and loops and with million of users, I will believe that yes, they have that much TPS. Then a statement comes why this much TPS is required. I'll talk about it as well in my session. But on-chain versus off-chain, when we talk about it, we need to think about the flows, we need to think about the solution and not the buzzwords. So instead of talking about the TPS, we should talk about the computation, we should talk about the method, we should talk about the data processing, we should talk about how we are handling the problems instead of talking about flashy words like millions of transactions per second. So how MST is doing that? You can see here, we are talking about WASM-5 protocol. WASM-5 protocol is enabling systems to compute everything in device, but in such a way it's equivalent to computing your data on chain. So MST is all about stabilizing the trust, aiding 8 billion people to the ecosystem without the hustle and zero code knowledge, easy onboarding, and solving the problem of on-chain versus off-chain. In a way, we can make a scalable system, a real scalable system where we talk about decentralization, we do not talk about buzzwords. Sure, an easy experience, a fast development, and a hassle-free, bug-free, and secure ecosystem. That's why we are introducing more than 15 protocols. 2 are already live. In next 3 months, more than 7 protocols are going live, and so on. We are building continuously to ensure lot of projects, lot of builders, and lot of dreamers can convert their dream on chain. Blockchain is technology in code. We are not talking about crypto. So when we are talking about MST blockchain, it's very hard people listen the word MSTC, which is our native coin. Everybody, when they talk about the blockchain, they talk about their crypto because the valuation of a blockchain depends on its coin. Is it true? This is a question to everyone. This is true? No. Blockchain's valuation cannot be valuated with the coin value. It's very simple that you are an infrastructure provider. So when you are an infrastructure provider, who is building with you, what they are building, what problem they are solving, what's the volume of the transactions you are having on chain, and that's how a blockchain gets a value. So whenever we talk about the technology, we do not talk about the crypto. It's very straightforward, because when blockchain having traction, blockchain having transactions, everybody needs MSTC, which is the native coin for MST blockchain. And whenever somebody needs MSTC, it means it's high in demand. When it's high in demand and supply is limited, prices are high. So we do not need to worry about it. What we should worry about, building things, building better things, building solution, and connect everyone, 8 billion people on chain. That's the only target of MST blockchain. Learn from past, build for the world. So when we talk about MSTC, I just explained MSTC supply is limited, so its tokenomics is inspired from Bitcoin. It's ensuring 100% transparency, limited coin supply, and to keep motivated our validators, we have halving in our system. So every 2 years, the rewards get halved, and it goes on for the whole life. So in every 2 years, there are halving. So users are still unconnected. It's very hard to touch 8 billion population of world with this much complex technology. So the very first responsibility for an infrastructure provider, for a layer 1 chain, is to target and connect real users. We need to build technology secure, tough, but it should be in background. At first, it should be very easy for a common user who wants to use the technology. It should be as easy as we were using our Google logins, social media logins, mobile logins, OTPs, even if it is blockchain, that doesn't matter. What matters is user experience. So what we are solving here, we are solving the trust along with layer 1. We are connecting real users with ease. How we are going to do it, we will talk later about it. The very first chain introduced their validator model in such a code functionality. What you need to do is you just need to register yourself, and as being the blockchain, what MST has stabilized, that is really interesting to understand. So MST converted the validator program into fractions. So the very first fractionalization, MST did it by its own. If you are talking about the technology and if you are not following yourself, it means somewhere a big gap is there. So MST adopted its own trust in its own processes. MST fractionalized the MST validator system, and anybody can participate in that validation program. What you need to do is just complete your KYC, register to the portal, connect your wallet, and you are participating in validator program. To create an ease about the user onboarding, because that's the target of MST blockchain, to onboard 8 billion people of the world on chains. How is gonna be happen? So we introduced Sarar protocol. Sarar protocol is a key management system, but again, it's remarkable that non-custodial key management system means when MST is talking about key management via Sarar protocol, MST is not holding any of your keys. So how Sarar protocol works? It's very simple. Sarar protocol generates your key into 13 different fractions, 13 different parts. These different parts are holded by prominent institutes and banks. They are holding servers, and in those servers we are holding those chunks of your keys. Whenever you are requesting your key, you authenticate yourself, request goes to servers, all different portions come, join and converts into your private key. And it's how you can access your wallet without worrying to secure it, without worrying to hold it, and without keeping it in any specific device.